Hi everyone, welcome back to Rudy Truth. I'm Keisha. Guys, today I wanna speak on one of my experience during my spiritual awakening. So, just disclaimer, if you're here and you're not ready yet to know who you are as a person, it's time to get off because I remember speaking my experience at the nail salon one day, and there was a group of ladies there, and I was telling them what I was experiencing. In the middle of my journey, I didn't integrate, I didn't understand it all in the moment, but I had basic understanding of what I was facing because I had already started to wake up to some degree. So I was in the salon, and I was telling them my experience, and one of the ladies said to me, "Oh, I'm afraid of you." And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And she was like, "I don't want to know these things about myself." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." But with me, there were so much things happening within my life and people surrounding my circle that I was very interested as to what was happening in the world. And I had already experienced that overwhelming love and joy, and I had basic understanding as to what was happening in the world. But I started seeing some YouTube video pop up on my feed, and it was all things talking about questions that fundamental questions that you need to ask yourself if you were going to wake up to your true natural God-given self. And with that, I started asking all these questions that I saw that was it keep on showing up, and that's how God shows up sometime. Prompting you to get interested in what's happening here. And as I said, I was in meditation for months and years. My journey's been like 3 years, and I know I have maybe another 100 years to go. So it's a never-ending journey, and no two experiences gonna be the same. But eventually, the truth about God is written on our hearts, and nobody can fool us. Nobody can go around. We can tiptoe around who we are, and we could try to live the life of this world, and we try to deceive ourselves into thinking that we're anything other than what God created us to be. But I was interested in finding out who I am. And as I said, if you're not ready yet to know who you are, you can just exit this video. And it's for people who are interested, who is willing, who wants to know, who is tired of living the same life that been fed to them for all their lives, So I saw the video came up, and it was saying that there are some fundamental questions that you must ask yourself if you were going to ever wake up to your true natural self. So the first question was, where am I from? And I know we tend to say that I'm from my mother's womb, I'm from my daddy's back, and we're from all over the place. I'm from Kingston, New York, you name it, we've been there. So that's a part of it. But remember, there's parts in the Bible that tell you that before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you. So who were you before you were in your mother's womb? So it's like, where am I from? So where were you before you were in your mother's womb? These are the questions you need to start meditating upon. The next question is, who am I? Who am I? I know I have a name, I have a bloodline, I have family, I have mother and father and a whole system, governments and everything. We have God, we have the devil, we have demons, we have angels, we have everything. But who am I? Who am I? Am I my name? Am I my color, my culture? Who am I? The next question that I started asking was, why am I here? Like, yeah, I'm from my mother's womb. I came out, I have a few kids or something, bought a house, do things, whatever it is that you are living in this life. Yeah, why am I here? Am I just here to be mediocre? Am I just here to pretend to not know who I am or where I'm from? And these questions are very important in your life. So the next question I started asking was, what am I supposed to be doing here? Like, after all that, I still haven't figured that one out yet quite, but I'm working on it. I'm working on that one. But yes, so I was asking all these questions, and I was in meditation, and I was doing all these things just to try to figure out what was life, what was happening in my circle, why was life like this, why was I here? Because I kept, looking in the sky and screaming and asking all these questions, going outside, being in nature and asking these questions. And it was all these things that I was doing. I remember I was at work one night, and I was sleeping. It was around about the time that I would, get up and try to get out of there or whatever, get ready to get out of there. But it was about maybe 5:45 or something. And I remember waking up, but I woke up to a degree where I couldn't open my eyes. But in the midst of trying to wake up, I kind of backed my eyes, and I saw like this person walk by me. I was on a recliner chair, and the chair couldn't stretch all the way out, so I was just like, laid back, and my foot was up, and I saw like somebody walk past me, but where I was, nobody should have walked past me, because no, it didn't happen. So it was like, I tried to see who it was. At first it was like I wasn't sure of what was happening where I was, but I know I was trying to open my eyes and trying to talk to the person that I saw pass my chair. And I realized that my eyes couldn't open, and I started to be worried. I started getting worried. I was like, why can't I open my eyes? Why can't I wake up? Why can't I get up? Because I was wanting to pull myself up out of the chair so I could look behind me to try to tend to the person that I saw pass me. But I couldn't move. I was paralyzed. My eyes were barely kind of opening. And I asked the question, why can't I wake up? And the voice in my head said, Keisha, just relax. It's only your spirit trying to get back in your body. And I was like, okay. It was like I was a little baby. I just relaxed in the chair. I stretched myself out, and I said, okay. And I don't know if, until this day, I don't know if my eyes were open or they were closed. But what I saw was something in the shape of like a funnel or something. Just, I don't even know how to explain it. It has a little opening, like a little round opening, and it's like, a long thing. And I don't know if it has more than one opening, maybe 2 or something. It looks like a vase or something, but just not so, just small. And I saw the thing rolled, and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled until it touches and it presses against my chest. And when it touches my chest, my whole body ignites with, I don't know if it was fire, vibration, I don't know what it was, but my body was buzzing so much that I felt that I was being electrocuted. And I was at work, mark you. I jumped up out of that chair like my life depended on it. And I raised myself up out of that chair. I didn't even bother to put the foot down. I just jumped out of the chair because my whole body was on fire. and I thought I was gonna die. I was like, what the hell is this? I jump up out of the chair and I started shaking myself. I started shaking myself so goddamn hard, trying to get myself out of that zone. And I remember when I felt my body again, I started crying. I break down and I went on my knees and I cried, I cried, I cried, I cried. And I tell you, I started calling all who I could and telling them of this experience that I had. And it was just like when I had my first astral projection and not knowing at the time what it was and trying to find out if anybody has ever heard of anything like that. For years, I grew up and I heard that at night when you go to bed and you feel like something is holding you back in your sleep, that is demons and duppy and devils. And it wasn't until God revealed to me that it was our spirit that leaves our body at night. Whenever we go to sleep, our spirit leaves our body, goes away, goes in dreams, go in different dimension. You know, whatever work you do at night, you go out and you do it, and then you come back to your body. And when you come back to your body, your spirit has to go back in for you to have life, for you to have strength, for you to have that fire within you, for your blood to pump and activate you. You need that spirit back in your body. And if that spirit goes away and never comes back, then you don't wake up. And that's just it. It doesn't mean that your spirit has died or your soul, because now we have a soul, we have the mind. Because remember, when I saw the person walking by me, that was me, my shadow, the shadow. That is what my mind could have accepted of me, I think. And I came in because I had a dream before, a couple years ago, that I was coming inside my house. And the minute I walked through the door, you know, I was coming in and I could like feel or sense myself walking in the house. And it was like my instinct told me to turn back and go check the door. And the minute in the dream, it was like a dream then, I opened the door and tried to figure out, it was like something attacked me. And all of a sudden I was in my bed now, fighting for my life. And at that time, I thought it was like a spirit, but not knowing that, like, we leave our body and we go out at night and we don't remember these things because our mind cannot wrap around these things. And because we have been programmed to believe that we are just human, you know, inhabiting this body for maybe 100 years or less, we tend to think that that's it for us and we have no more, you know, progress of life. There's nothing, no more learning, no more knowing. We just stop at, you know, whatever we've been told and fed, and we don't seek knowledge. We don't ask these questions. We take our life so simple. The things that God has been revealing to me, it's been so shocking, and it's things that I don't even believe myself, but I am being showing. It's like a knowing that these things are happening, and now it's like I have to come out here and I have to tell people that is willing, that wants to know, that wants to learn about themselves. I am here to offer a word of encouragement, to tell you that you are more than you have been taught. And that's what I have been waking up to, like knowing who I am and owning who I am, like not apologizing for who I am and not apologizing for how I look, like being myself. That's all I have to do. I don't have to prove anything to anyone. You know, I don't have to let the world validate me, because I know who I am. I know what I look like when I'm not in this body. And I'm just telling you that you can know this too if you are interested. So I'm just here to offer my words of encouragement, to let you know that you are more, that God created you to be more. God created you with dominion over the earth, to have authority over your own life and your own destiny. right? And we have been told that we are mediocre and we're small and we're ugly and we're in the bottom of the barrel. All of us. It doesn't matter the skin color. It's not about the tone of your skin. It's about the mind of the people. And the Bible tell you that with the lack of knowledge, my people perish. And that is what's happening in the world. We have been perishing for centuries because we have no knowledge. And we have been roaming around for years, for centuries, in the same place, round and around, going around, because we don't know who we are and we don't know where God is and how to reach out to God, because a barrier has been put in between we and God. And now we don't know how to find her anymore. Like, she's lost. You know, God has been lost because she has been demonized. She has been put down. She has been put aside. And because we're not curious enough to ask, who is God? You know, why is God so angry? Why do God want to kill us if we don't obey him? You know, I am willing to obey God, but not if you're going to force me to it. Like, I want to come to God because I wanted to know who God was. I wanted to know for myself. I don't want you to force me and tell me that I'm going to burn in hellfire if I don't serve you. Like, that is not right. And that is what I woke up to. Finding out that God is not a bearded man sitting in the sky waiting to judge us. God is somebody that is humble, who is loving, who is willing to teach us if we want to learn. But we don't want to learn because we have been cut off from knowledge. You know, the books are hid. You know, the knowledge has been put away. It's been burned. It's been demonized. And now we're here sitting like clueless people when God told us that we have dominion. And that is just why I'm here, to remind you that you have dominion over your life. You can take authority for your own life. You can get those demons and devil out of your way. You can cast them back to the pit of hell if that's where they're from. So yeah, that's why I'm here. So, you know, the hair on my head has been giving me a awesome fight. Like, even, you know, trying to not have to go through the struggle of combing my hair every day, but then I put this thing on my head and now I have a struggle in, like, do I want to be seen? Like, I don't want to be seen, but I'm willing to be seen. Like, I am willing not to hide anymore from the world. Like, I've been hiding my whole life. Like, it's been a struggle. Like, I remember being conscious at maybe 5 or 6 years old and noticing that I had this gift of speaking, you know, maybe a little more advanced than my peers or the kids that were around me, even the adults. Like, I've always had this voice, but I use this voice. I was joking with my friend the other day and I told her, like, you know, I have this voice for so long that people are asking me now, like, you know, it doesn't sound like you. And I'm like, I've always had this voice, but this voice was only used when I was trying to impress men. You know, and it was like God was like, I gave you this voice to go speak to the nation, to go speak to people who are willing to hear truth. And you have been wasting away, sitting in corners, acting like you're small, like you are, you know, outcasts, I should say. And, you know, now I realize that all along I've had this voice and I've decided not to use it because when I was a kid, nobody else spoke in this manner. And I was like, I can't use this voice because people are going to think that I'm you know, acting as if I'm better than them. Not knowing that I was hiding myself because I wanted to fit in. I no longer want to fit in. Like, I care if nobody likes me. I like myself. I'm just here to speak the truth. And nobody have to like you when you speak the truth. You just have to stand for what you believe in. And God will handle the rest. So with that, I'm just here to remind you that you are a spirit living in a human form, in a body. And you're here to learn truth. You're here to find God. And the minute you start asking yourself these questions, God is going to show up for you. And there, you know, God is going to teach you, and he's going to send angels and spirit guides and guards and guardians, and you're going to be just fine. And God is going to send everything that you need. And God will embody you with the wisdom to break generational curses. These life that we have been programmed to think that is normal is not normal. We normalize poverty. We normalize Cain killing Abel. We normalize these things because we have been taught that this is normal, but it's not. I am here to tell you that God has told me that none of this is normal. Brother killing sister, mother fighting against children, father not taking care of their children. It's not normal. We're under demonic spiritual attack. And you have to get conscious of this. You have to be conscious that you have been taught to fear yourself, and what you ought to fear, you can't see it because it's spiritual. So you have to get in tune with your spirit for God to show you your neighbor, your friend, your sister, your aunt, whoever it is, because demons don't work by themselves. They work through us. They work through others. And you have to learn discernment so you could know what's happening in your surrounding. And that's why we're dying, because we're not aware spiritually of who we are and why we're here and the authority that God has given us. Thank you for watching. I'm Keisha. Bye for now.